Hello, you're welcome back to Project Management Demystified. Right, so we can make this episode 5 of I think I called it Project Management Professional role because that role just has a lot of the project management roles in one role. Some other organizations might split them, but this organization just wants one person to do those things. But from what we have said so far, for what we have gone through in the description, I think the majority, I might just be assuming wrongly, but from what I've read from the job description, it looks like it's a lot more business analyst type role, but they expect you to wear other hats. So in this episode, in the previous episode, we'll be going through some bullet points, and I'll just be probably just concluding the rest of the bullet points. So I think in the last episode we spoke about collaboration, and then also contributing to project work streams. And I use so I said majority of what we do is collaboration and being able to bring people together and get people to agree and bring ideas. And we also touched on this idea of it might just be once you speak in a meeting and you're adding a significant impact or value. So you could call out a risk that could save the organization a lot of money because you've been reflecting, you've been thinking, and you've been observing what other people are saying, and then you're taking insights from those. So there's a difference between not having what to say, not knowing what to say, not having what to say, and keeping quiet to reflect, to think, and being able to add value. So you have to know where you are in that space, and it will come with experience. It will come with experience. So if we go ahead, the last two bullet point talks about take part in agile ceremonies and updating reports, and then communicate and escalate to line management as appropriate. So agile ceremonies, what are the agile ceremonies? I think we've covered them, or majority of them, in the Scrum Master role. So agile ceremonies, and that's for Scrum. The ones we covered in Scrum Master role they are Scrum specific ceremonies, but some of them are kind of adopted in other frameworks. Like you have some of the Scrum events in Scaled Agile framework, and you have some of the Scaled Agile framework that you can use in Scrum as well. So those go kind of hand in hand. But the aim is to bring people together more often, reduce the distance between working and collaboration, so that if there is a risk, I'm always talking about risk because risk is massive and it could cause a lot of big problems. So if there's a risk, we can identify them quicker than waiting for longer periods before we come together and identify risks. Providing updates, where have things been? So we're expecting to have got to X, but we're not there. What's blocking us? What's stopping us? And reporting for clients and senior management. So you need to be able to understand levels of and that kind of links to the last bullet point about communicating and escalating to line management and as appropriate. So the way you communicate to your line manager should be significantly different to the way you communicate to very senior stakeholders. And this is because someone that's managing a portfolio of, let's say, 30 million pounds projects might not have the time to understand the details of the level of detail of the type of code you're writing, or something that will just impact 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, even sometimes up to 500,000. So you need to be able to communicate in a way that it brings out what is relevant to that stakeholder. So just what is relevant to the stakeholder is what you should be working to. So be asking yourself the question all the time. If I were in this person's shoes, what would I want to know? I know you're not in the person's shoes, but just try to ask. You can get support from more experienced people so that communicates with them more often to say, do you think this would fly? Do you think it's too much? Do you think I should dial it down a little bit? Do you think I should bring it up a level higher? So just that consciousness is a good starting place. That the information I'm using at team level, at wider team level, they're different from the information I'll need to be sharing with management. Management just wants to know, where are things? Are we on track? Are we not on track? Are there any problems? And then communication. I don't even know why. I think I've said a lot of things about communication in past episodes. It's everything. Communication is everything. If you have an idea, if you cannot communicate it correctly, or communicate it to influence, or communicate it to have impact, then the idea will not fly, because you'll be saying something and people will be hearing something different. So a lot of the time we don't really put thought into our communication. So take away from here, before you communicate, think about what you want to say. Before you send an email, think about what you want to write. Think about how that would come across if you're on the other side. Maybe let's leave it there for today, and then I'll see you on the other side. Cheers. Bye-bye.